Everyone, welcome back. If you are just catching me replay, join me next Tuesday night. I usually do live readings then. And really quick before I get into the group reading for everyone, I wanted to talk about my memberships. Hopefully it's not too loud behind me. But I now have memberships on YouTube. I'm super excited about it. Basically, if you kind of go to my profile page on my channel, you'll see like a blue join button. And I have 3 tiers right now, but there will be 5. I'm just like waiting on the others to pend. But basically, first tier, you get fun emojis and badges on your name, and that just helps like in the chat room, especially when we get really busy. It helps for me to like see you guys. Second membership level, so that first one was 99 cents. The next one is like $5, and that one is basically, what is that one? I probably should have refreshed myself before talking about this, but the $5 one, what is the $5 one? Hey, thanks for the donation. Hang on one second. I'm trying to do my spiel for my replay people, and I can't even remember what my memberships are. They're so new. I don't have them memorized. What is it? Okay, so you hit the join button. So yeah, the $5 a month will get you into members only live videos. That's new. And basically the last Tuesday of every month will be a live video for members only. And we're going to switch it up. There's going to be some nights where we do exercises, some nights where we do readings, some nights where we just like hang out and you guys ask me questions. I kind of will base it on what you guys want and how I'm feeling, obviously, too. So that's $5 a month. And then my next tier up is $10 a month, and that is going to be member-only videos. So those are videos that I'm going to add that nobody else can see. It's only for you guys. And those will either be like instructional videos. They might be reading videos for the month, like pick a card, or like if you guys just like have a question about something very specific and you want it to like this month, then I'm going to make a video, and it's going to be exclusive to that membership tier, which is the third tier up, $10 a month, members only videos. So I'm going through my memberships right now, you guys. I finally kind of filled in the rest of the tiers. And don't worry, if you guys aren't like signing up for a membership, you're not going to lose anything. Like you're not missing out on anything. This is just like extra content that you can get from me, and extra, honestly, just like FaceTime with me. And then the fourth tier that I have set up, it's not up there yet, but it will be. And that's $25 a month. And that's going to get you some readings, in a month. And then the $50 a month, which is like the biggest tier, will also get you just even more personalized readings. So basically every month you'll shoot me a message and you'll be like, hey, Lauryn, I have this question, or, I want coaching. And basically it's kind of like timed. And I'll shoot you an email and give you a reading, give you coaching, whatever it is that you need that month. You can unsubscribe at any time. The cool thing though is if you stick along for a long time, your badge kind of like levels up. But yeah, I won't talk too much more about it. I just wanted to let you guys know that I have memberships now, and I'm super excited about it. So if you want more content from me, if you also want early access to videos, some of those higher tiers, you're going to be like the first ones to see my videos. So just think about it. Just think about it. It also really, it supports me, and I should have said that at the beginning. Like, this supports me so that I can be on YouTube more for you guys. I really want to be able to do this full time and be a full-time YouTuber. Obviously, I was a psychic first, but the more support that I can get from you guys, and don't feel like you have to but it just helps me in my time so that I can dedicate even more time to giving you guys readings, giving you guys exercise videos, information, all that good stuff. So yeah, let's get into the theme of tonight and the group reading, and then I'll get to individual readings. I'm going to get back to I Speak My Truth. Hi, Linda. Welcome. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I kind of stalked you, Eureka. I hope you don't mind. Once I figured out who you were through our Facebook group, we have a Facebook group that's like, if you want to practice your psychic abilities, anybody can join. And the link for that is in the description down below. But Eureka shared, Eureka. I don't know. She shared some of her exercises that she did from the automatic drawing video that I had, and so I was like, "Oh, Yurika has a face." Sometimes in these chats, I really can't like get to know you guys very well, and I saw you had a channel. I was like, "Oh, cool! I have to follow." Hi, Cheyenne. And also, so Cheyenne and Lori, you guys can see that they are members right now. So that's how they have those like little membership. They're green and they have those badges next to them. And Lori and Cheyenne. So I was stupid. Sorry, I'm going to get around to this. But Lori and Cheyenne, do you have an opinion? So right now your badges are like eyes. And the longer that you're a member, the more they like open. And I think you can like see that. But I was stupid and I thought I had to make badges for every single level, but I can only do one. So I had somebody design me a whole new set of badges, and it's an owl, and it's like an owl that's sleeping that gradually like wakes up to flying. And I chose an owl because owls to me symbolize intuition. So I can't decide now. And I'm like, do I do the owl or do I do the eyeballs? I don't know. Do you guys care? Hey, Kelly. I'm good. I speak my truth. Segueing into how I am, I want to know how you guys have been doing with this whole Mercury retrograde craziness. Every single time one comes around, I'm like, oh, it's not going to affect me. Nope, it's not a thing. It's all about your intention. But I'm like, after this Mercury retrograde, I'm convinced that there's something more to it. And I'm starting to learn a little bit more about astrology, and obviously I'll share videos about that as I learn. Hi, SMC. I like both, but the owl does sound cute. Maybe I'll share it in the community tab. It's finally over. Thank you, Jordan. Hang on. I have one other person above you, but kind of the group reading tonight before we get into individual readings is all about Mercury retrograde. And I don't know about you guys, but I felt like that was rough. And it was like literally bad communication with other people happening like every couple of days. Technical issues, like I have never had so many issues with my readings of like people getting the time zones wrong, people getting like just like every little detail wrong, like my website not working correctly. Also, somebody like hacking me today, which if you guys have followed me on Instagram, you probably saw all of that nonsense. And I do want to tell you guys more about that tonight because it's hilarious. But anyway, Mercury retrograde was a bitch. But I do still believe that, you know, it's your intention and what you set. So I want to kind of move forward into, and some people believe that even though Mercury retrograde is over, they think that there's this period afterwards called like the shadow period. And it's like when the planet is coming back, and it's not actually going like in reverse. It's like the way we see it in the sky. It looks like it's like going backwards and coming back. It's not like actually what's happening. It's just like the optical illusion, I guess, that happens. I'm still trying to learn about it. But some people say that the time right after Mercury retrograde can be just as bad. So assuming that some of you guys might still be feeling the effects of this, I wanted to pull some cards and ask, what can we do about Mercury retrograde? Also, I just feel like this time has been all about like resetting boundaries. Like, I don't know what you guys have learned with Mercury retrograde, but it was like a huge call to set my boundaries with a lot of people. And I stood up, I said my thing, stood up to a lot of people finally, and it felt good, but it felt awful at the same time. Yeah, technology was bad for me. Phone and computer both broke. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so frustrating. Everyone at work kept asking if it was a full moon. My answer was nope, just Mercury retrograde. They look at me weird. Awesome. Okay, so what do we need to know? Group reading, the Empress. I hardly pull out my angel cards, but I always do when I know we need just like high vibe energy. So the Empress. I feel like this is us right now. Like I feel like a lot of us are like coming out of this Mercury retrograde, and like I'm literally hearing like the angels being like, oh. And if you're not quite there yet, I think this reading is for you. But it's like this we're stepping into this new chapter. Also, some of you guys might definitely have mythical creature guides for sure. If any of these resonate with you, two doves, butterfly, squirrel, frog, deer in the back by a waterfall, which is exactly how I see my deer guide. Crazy. And then, yeah, so if you're like maybe curious and any of those resonate with you, some of those might be your guides. But this says time to act upon your plans. Creativity is rewarded. Luxurious or abundant resources. That's awesome. So maybe the Mercury retrograde, we got kind of like, I'm feeling like everyone got distracted by like a bunch of things. And this is like, okay, they're like, I'm seeing our guides like taking our head and like facing us forward again and being like, all right, let's refocus and let's remember all the things that you learned from this experience. And I think you guys have like made a lot of like plans, but you maybe haven't like done anything about it yet. Maybe you're still like, oh, I'm still waiting. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I'm just like in this like waiting energy. Like, I don't know what I'm waiting for. Maybe that's a few of us. What are we waiting for? I'm pulling an extra card. We're waiting for some bravery, some courage. Coming to the edge is all about like coming to the edge of the cliff and being like, I'm going to jump and I'm going to have faith and I'm going to take this leap of faith. And for whatever reason, the last couple of weeks, maybe, and this might not be for everybody out there because I'm reading several people, like bits and pieces of this might resonate with some of you, but it might not all resonate with you. But it feels like this last week or couple weeks has just been like reset, chaos, kind of crap hit the fan. And now we have to refocus is the only word that I feel like it was like whatever we were working on before, this is what this abundance and reward is talking about. Like we were focused on something before and then Mercury retrograde came around, or maybe it's not Mercury retrograde, maybe it's just like whatever was happening in your life the last couple of weeks, things kind of hit the fan and it was like this distraction off to the side and now we're coming back to it. And I think, I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling like, oh, was all of that manifestation forgotten? Like what, am I totally off track? But I think this is saying, no. Those lessons were like needed and now we're back and we're going to finally fully manifest this, because I pulled the card that says expect powerful change. New moon in the eclipse. Didn't we just have an eclipse? I have my full moon calendar up here, but it would take me forever to read it. Oh, how perfect. This is saying a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. So again, it's like that intention that I was just saying that we set before all of this stuff kind of hit the fan. It's still there. Our guides still hear us and expect it to work. It's coming through. We just need to have a little bit of courage and a little bit of bravery. Keep holding the vision. Ooh, I love that. I needed that reading. Awesome. That's the group reading. And just so you guys know, if you ever miss me live, I always do the group reading at the beginning so that, you can still come back and watch and get something out of it. During the week before and the week after, Mercury retrograde can be hard. Yeah. I felt like I had to push to get things done. I have a business deal I'm trying to close and was dotting my I's and crossing my T's because I knew we were in Mercury retrograde. Nice. Everyone says that about Silly Rabbit. They're like, I like your name. I'm having an ice cold beer because it's summer. Have you guys ever had Sapporo? It is my favorite beer. Summer beer, I should say. In that waiting energy too. Yeah, like I don't know what that was, but need so much courage. We are about to get into individual readings and I already have 2 people that have paid, so I apologize. So I'm going to jump back up really quick. So basically how we do individual readings is if somebody donates, I'll get to them first. And then otherwise we do like fun guessing games. And so just check the description. You can either donate through Super Chat or you can donate through my Venmo, but I kind of have it based on like how much money you donate gets you so many questions, or if you really want to ask one question and just have me spend more time instead of doing like 2 or 3 questions, you can specify that when you get your reading. But yeah, if I don't see your donation, if you donated through Venmo, let me know. I think that's it, guys. Okay. So, message from Spirit. I am feeling drawn to the Starseed Oracle for you. I speak my truth. I'm jumping up. She first comment was a donation. Thank you. Bam, bam. Ooh, that was my dog. I don't know if you guys heard that. His shrill, husky bark. Okay, so I speak my truth. I feel like this reading is like the biggest thing that's coming through to me is grounding for you. And I have a few videos on grounding, but grounding is essentially like really putting in the time and the effort to be here on this physical plane, not so much up here spiritually, intuitively. It's very much the opposite, about being present in your surroundings, around the other people around you. Like, I really think of grounding as just like, honestly, the opposite of intuition. It's like turning off your psychic ability. But they're saying, speak the truth. I speak my truth. Sorry. I'm just going to call you truth to make it easier on myself. I feel like what they're saying is grounding will help you become more intuitive. So don't think of it like as like a slap on the wrist, like you need to stop being intuitive. It's definitely to help you. It's almost like they're showing me the opposites will help each other out. Like if you can ground more this way, you can go higher in your intuition this way. And I think this is an ancestor coming through also that's helping you and telling you about this. And I kept pulling this card literally for everyone last week, which is deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. And I think why you need to ground right now is because this like physical and emotional healing that's sticking out to me on this card. It's like there's something here that you're avoiding that you need to work on. Kind of maybe it's up here. And sometimes we need to just turn off our ability, be with ourselves, be around, our day-to-day stuff so that we can realize, wow, I'm unhappy, or wow, this isn't working, or I'm avoiding these thoughts or these emotions. It's almost like they just like want to put a pause button on you, truth, and bring you back down to earth is what they're saying. Bring you back down to earth, let you sort through some stuff, and then you can get back to it. I'm curious like what this is that they want you to like figure out, but I'm gonna wrap it up there to keep it fair for everybody. So thank you. I speak my truth. Your donations help me out so much, you guys. Okay, so Jordan was next really quick. Matt Torres, Lauryn, you finally found me live. Oh, and I'm just now seeing all your comments. I'm sorry. I'm in my head a lot. Yes, feeling off spiritually weird, crawling sensations on my skin. Astral parasite attached? I don't know about that, but in general, I believe stuff like that is that if you believe something is attacking you or attached to you, or somebody put a spell on you or something, then in a way you're sort of allowing it to happen because you're setting the intention that this is true. But if you can, I truly believe like with stuff like that, even if you astral parasites are real and I'm just like uninformed about it, then what am I trying to say? The intention is all you need to get rid of it. You can say, whatever this is, it's not affecting me from here on out. I cleanse my energy. I'm taking a bath. I'm letting it go. Yes, I'm avoiding so much. it's interesting because like sometimes it's the opposite. Our guides want us to go into our intuition to like figure out those like things that we're avoiding, but I'm feeling like it's the opposite for you. I speak my truth. You kind of look like Teddy from Good Luck Charlie. I will have to look that up. People say that I look like some celebrities, and it's literally a different person each time. And every time I look at it, I'm like, I don't feel like I look like that at all. You could also unintentionally create a thought form that could take place. All right, so Jordan, popping back up to Jordan. Jordan donated. How am I doing right now with my spiritual ascension? I like your dog, Jordan. Been picking up a lot of things and have some plans for myself that I've been trying to work to. So I feel like you're headed in the right direction. I popped this beer open and I didn't even take a sip. I don't know if Yurika's still in here, but Japan made me a beer lover, which you think is like silly, especially because I'm in Colorado, we're like the craft beer capital of the world, or of the U.S. But something about these Sapporo beers on my trip, I absolutely love Sapporo. Anyway, okay. How am I doing with I want to pull one of these cards. Okay, they're telling me one of each. Okay. Jordan, I don't. So I pulled the priest card in reverse, and like immediately the thought that I got, because normally I think about this like, how are you being a priest or like emulating that, but I feel like it's actually someone around you. I don't know if you are like going to somebody to like, there's all sorts of spiritual leaders or classes or coaches. But the fact that I pulled this in reverse, I got to like be wary of this person. Because there's people out there that are like that, set up classes because they think they're all that and a bag of chips. And this is talking about violating the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. I don't feel, and I still stand by it feeling good. I think your guys are just like, if there's somebody or something you're contemplating doing, it's not that you can't do it. Just be very careful not to be sucked into the energy of these types of people. Because I feel like there's a lot of these around you, Jordan, like people who are pretending to be all like high and mighty and healers and gurus. But they kind of have the wrong intentions. Just jump down in case you're responding to me. I've been learning under this guy who has helped me in the past. Maybe. I mean, again, it's not like a big drastic thing of like quit or like leave. It's more like just be aware that these people are still people. They still have biases. They still have ego. And to take everything with a grain of salt and trust your own intuition. Ooh, this card is interesting. This is a completely new deck to me, so learning these cards as I go. So this is like, I don't know if you can see this. It says fall into my arms, and there's a woman holding maybe a child in the middle of this like cave pond. And there's all these spirits, like I don't know if you can see this. This is all like white spirits, like coming into this child and floating out. That is such an interesting image. I feel like this is you, Jordan. I feel like you're in this very receptive mode of like, I'm going to let spirit flow through me and I'm going to turn into a new person from this. But I think that's the good thing that you're doing is you're letting spirit come in and you're hearing spirit. You're not listening to the people, the ego, the earthly people. Am I making any sense? You're you're going to source. And because you're going to source, it's a lot more high vibrational, it's a lot more correct, it has you in mind. Surrender. Also with this card, it says extremes of life, which to me, I feel like you've been on this extreme of like doing spirituality one way and kind of swinging back and doing it another way. And those ways that I'm getting is like super into it, maybe not trusting your own gut and just like trying to push it too hard and not actually like paying attention to your experiences or like why you want to do something. And it's more about just like leveling up, versus this energy is way more receptive. And you're surrendering more, which is a great place to be in. And I think your guides just want to like show you like, good job, this is where you're at. And just remember to avoid these types of people. Spirits or people? It's definitely people. Like people, like, I mean, I'm even saying like, even like me, there's a lot of, I purposely don't call myself a guru. I don't call myself a healer. I don't use any of those terms because I do not think I'm above anyone else. I think I've just honed my abilities a little bit more. But there are some people out there that really connect to their intuition, connect to some psychic source, and truly believe in their heart of hearts that they are giving 100% accurate truths. And so they see themselves as a priest, but in a bad way. They take advantage of other people. They violate the trust of those communities. They are seduced by their own spiritual role. I feel like there's so many documentaries about people like this. But I think it's more just a reminder to you that no matter what teacher you have, they're always going to have that bias and that ego behind them. And then the last card I pulled for you was why. So I think, Jordan, as far as like, because your question was like, it sounded like you were questioning, you have like a plan, you want to, excuse me, you've been picking up some things, you have some plans for yourself that you're trying to work towards. And I think this is just a reminder that to constantly ask yourself, what's the motivation behind it all? Because as long as the motivation is good intentions, then yeah, you can absolutely go for it. And I feel like that group reading at the beginning, because we talked about like making plans. If you missed that, Jordan, definitely watch that, because I feel like there might be something in there for you. But I think as long as your intentions are good and, it's not coming from like, I just feel like this huge pendulum for you is just like swinging back and forth. It's like ego versus intuition. I don't even know if that's exactly the best descriptor of these opposites, but I think for you, it's always been about avoiding these types of people or these types of techniques or modalities or, I don't know, exercises, and making sure that you're actually following your intuition. I feel like I'm making sense, maybe. Sometimes like I can see it and they're communicating through certain clairs, but I can't put those clairs into words the best. Absolutely. Psychics can have filters that affect their responses, because if I don't believe in angels and I'm a psychic and I'm telling you angels aren't real, then, you could be totally susceptible to that and believe it. So it's remembering to trust yourself. And when I say yourself, even yourself is egotistical. It's that source, that psychic source, whatever you believe in, whether it's God, higher self, spirit guides. It's listening to their advice and not other people so much, because other people have that filter. They can't get rid of it. Even me, I can't get rid of that. I think I've talked in one of my videos about that. Thank you, Jordan. Thanks for your donation. Just looking. I want to know who Teddy from Good Luck I'm sorry, I have to Google this right now. Teddy Good Luck Charlie. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Every time. It's always like somebody says, you look like this person. And then I look it up and I'm like, I know they don't. I'm glad you're enjoying your beer. Thank you. You also remind me of Sabrina the Witch in a good way. You know, you'd think I would have watched that series, but I have not. That's like the blonde with the black cat, right? In the 90s. If psychics say they are accurate 100% of the time and they never get things wrong, you want to be careful about them. Absolutely. Case in point today, I had somebody pretending to be me on Instagram and messaging all of you guys and being like, hey, I'm so attracted to your energy. I feel messages coming for you. Do you want to pay for a reading? And they copied my profile, copied my post, like made it look exactly the same. They just changed one letter on the handle. So if you weren't really looking, you might have thought it was me. And so I woke up this morning to all of you guys being like, Lauryn, someone's copying you. And I was like, I feel so awesome that you guys are all looking out for me and like reporting it. But they were up for quite a while and like screwing with people and trying to get money. And my husband is so funny because I was like, you should mess with them because whoever this was, they blocked me, of course. And my husband was like trying to mess with them and waste their time and be like, how much for a reading? And like trying to get this information out of them to see like if we could report them. Anyway, we had fun. Hi, Lauryn. Is there a difference between intuition and psychic? I feel like I might have had a really old video on this. Like, what's the difference between an intuitive and a psychic? I'm pretty sure. So if you want a longer answer, Marissa, check out that video. But basically, how do I put this in a short way? Everyone is intuitive. Everyone is psychic. It's intuitive abilities and psychic abilities. Those can be used interchangeably, those words. And really, you use your intuition to pick up on things. And when you use your intuition a lot, you could be called a psychic or you could be called an intuitive. But it's basically the same thing. It's just like what tense and what, how do you spell it is really like more what it's about. I hope that makes sense. It's an old Disney show. Super good. I definitely remember watching it. Or I didn't watch it, but I like saw it. Not a huge fan of the newer one. Yeah, I've seen that newer one. It looks a little odd. Wonder how I'd be if I was you. Can't really imagine it. In what way? Awesome. I don't think anyone else has donated, so we will do a guessing game question. So I am thinking of, okay, this might be a trick question, but I'm thinking of a color. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. But yeah, just so you guys know, if you are following me on Instagram or Facebook or even YouTube, like if anyone ever messages you, not just me, but like other psychics, if someone messages you and is like asking you for a reading, don't go there. Psychics should never ask you for a reading. They should never come up to you and say something like, I feel like a message is coming through. That's like huge boundary crossing. That's that no. Eureka, you got it. Rainbow. I said it was a trick question. Eureka, let me know. I'm going to say your name right one of these days. Eureka, let me know what your question is in the comments. And I will pull a card for you. I'm just so attracted to this Starseed Oracle deck. I just want to touch it and play with it. And that sounded wrong. But it's such a pretty deck. Unless they practice it to me. Wait, what was the color? The color was rainbow. Sorry. I might have tricked you guys. But also I have memberships up, you guys, now. So membership tiers, you basically just get even more content from me. So Second tier, you basically get to do members only live. So I'm going to start doing that. And then the next tier above that, you get members only videos. I'm going to memorize this. So members only videos. So that month as a group, you all decide, oh, we want a reading. Oh, we want an informational video on boundaries. We all want this. And so that month it'll be an exclusive video to you guys based on like what you want to see. Next tier up, you get readings, personalized readings for yourself. So you can sign up for those on my main channel page. Yurika, waiting for Yurika's question. But feel free, you guys, to reach out to me anytime for a reading. Okay, those ones are for Yurika. They like to jump out. Any message from my son and daughter in heaven? They are waiting in heaven. I keep seeing them in spirit. I got all paths lead home, which to me, Eureka, is like they're beckoning you in. It's like that is home. They're preparing it for you. They're waiting for you. It's also about intuition. So using your intuition to communicate with them. I'm just getting like this huge message of like, yes, we were all together in this like realm. I don't think that is that true. That's not true, is it? I'm confused. I don't feel like they were actually your kids, were they? You just feel like a connection to them spiritually. I could be wrong. If I am, I'm wrong. But anyway, the point is like that is home, not this. So whatever idea you have of this life of like, oh, they could have been this or done that, or we could have had these experiences together. It's like, don't worry, let it go. This next place is home. They are not here yet. Gotcha. That's what I was feeling like. Because sometimes people lose their kids, but I was like, these guys haven't been here on this plane yet. And I think you can absolutely connect to your future kids. Actually, it's funny because I've been feeling my future daughter's energy a lot lately. And then anytime I get like sick, I'm like, oh, should I take a pregnancy test? But you kind of have to like let those messages go. Anyway, I think it's just funny that happened to come up at the same time. But yeah, I think you can absolutely connect with people who are supposed to come into your life energetically. Interesting. So I read this as the great serving. That's not actually what it says, but I think sometimes when you read a card in a certain way, you just like get information that way. And that's how you read cards intuitively. So the great serving, like I feel like when they do come, when they are in this life, or maybe it's not this life, but a future lifetime, their goal is to serve. And this card says like Mars energy, anger, conflict. And I think they will come into your life to help you through this part of your life that you have trouble with. Maybe I don't feel like you have trouble with like anger, but it's more like expressing yourself. Conflict with other people or even yourself. Like I feel like you're more likely to like not stick up for yourself. And they want to come in and serve. They want to come in and help you with this. This card, though, I just keep getting drawn to, Yurika, and I feel like this all paths lead home is like a call for you to come inward and meet them. Meet them at home. Do maybe like a meditation and see if you can't reach out to them in the space that they are in now and try to communicate with them. You can absolutely do that. I would maybe, unless you're really good at like meditating or you have like a preferred way, my go-to is always shamanic journeying. Awesome. Thank you, Yurika. And thank you, Zeneb. I will pull some cards for you. What are Usman's intention with me? Does he miss me? And does he want to reconcile? I want some cute fairies today, but I don't get any. But good ones, not nasty ones. One of the things that I read in a book about fairies was that if you go and clean up your garden or like clean up trash or go plant things or even make like fairy houses, the fairies will love that. And I have such a hard time with fairy energy because I used to so legitimately believe in them when I was a young kid. And then I like had it so horribly like squashed out of me that even now to this day, trying to untrain that of like, oh, fairies are real, it's so hard for me. That's a side note. Sorry, Zeneb. Donate a reading for 2 questions. Okay, feel free to throw up your second question, Zeneb. Sorry, my chair is really noisy. I don't think I was shuffling. Okay. I'm pulling my hard-hitting deck, and I pulled out, this is my archetype deck. I use this for, like, tough energy, which I felt like we needed after Mercury Retrograde. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, Zeneb, I pulled the rebel Usman, like, and this, my question was, how do they feel about you? And then this card is like, how do you feel about them? I feel, so this rebellious energy is coming across to me as like, Usman, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but it feels like if they like you, they're not letting themselves go there because they're being like rebellious. So like maybe somebody in their life is saying like, and this is just an example, like, oh, you shouldn't date that person, or maybe their friends are like, oh, he doesn't like look good or something. I don't know. Don't take that as literal. That's just like an example. And so a part of them is rebelling against their own true intentions and their own true feelings. So whatever those feelings are towards you, and I feel like pretty neutral about it. Like, I don't, they're like in love with you or something, but I feel like the intentions are like, oh, I could be better friends, but something is stopping them. And it's this rebellious nature. And I don't even feel like rebellious is the right word as much as the energy of like denying their feelings because of what everyone else will think. And then your kind of interaction with her, you kind of have the beggar, this is about like being so caught up in their energy and like wanting them to give you something. And you're like, oh, please, please. It's dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. And that sticks out to me because maybe Zeneb, it's asking you, is there something more you can do to push along this relationship rather than just wait for it to happen? What's your second question, Zeneb? As far, and kind of stepping back as in that reading as a whole, what are Usman's intentions with me? Does he miss me? Oh, sorry, you said it was a he. I feel like his intentions are, I could go further. Like, I see potential there. And I don't necessarily feel like that's romantic. I feel like it's just a friends thing. Like, but they're at least like in the zone of like, yeah, we could be friends. But something is influencing them to be like, no, I'm not going to go there. Or I'm going to ignore my emotions. And it could even just like be his own like emotional, like, I don't deserve this. I don't, this isn't for me. I was taught that I can't deserve somebody like Zeneb. What are his future outcomes towards me? Okay. And to kind of like wrap up that question, I don't know if I did. I think the overall point there, Zeneb, is to not be the beggar and to make the first move because they're in a spot where they're open, but they're not going to push it because of this like rebellious nature. So definitely like you making the first move. And that doesn't need to be like an extreme first move. A first move can be like reaching out and being like, hey, you want to go hang out, Hey, what are you up to? How you doing tonight? Okay. Does he miss me and want to reconcile? Oh, I guess that kind of was your second question. Sorry. But I think I answered that. As far as does he miss me? Again, I get like neutral, like even on both sides, like equal miss, equal okay with where they're at. What are his future outcomes towards me? What card do I want to use? I want to use these ones. I'm still like intuitively feeling like he's not going to do anything right now. So you got to be the one to make the first move. And I just pulled your commitment is being tested. And I don't feel like that's like a relationship commitment, because I feel like some people might like look at this and be like, oh, this is a part of our relationship and we're just going to get back together. I'd like to be honest with you guys and tell you exactly what I get. Your commitment to your beliefs is being tested. And staying in this like dreamy world of, oh, maybe we can still get back together. That's what's being tested. And really getting out of your comfort zone to try and like push it forward. It's just we had a strong connection in the past and he got mad at me over a fight and then stopped talking to me. Gotcha. It's time to release the negativity is the other card that I pulled. He went after Pisces. Damn you, Pisces. I don't think he's going to be happy there. Just immediate hit. So as far as future outcome, your guides are very much like looking towards you first of releasing the negativity. And then I feel like the commitment being tested is like getting out of your head and your kind of dream world about the relationship and getting into a more practical, grounded place of like, okay, if I want this to happen, let's start as friends. He is open to it. I'm not going to push it. It's going to take a long time, though. I feel like there's a lot of things that would need to be sorted out first. Focus, camera. Lots of things that would need to be sorted out first. So, honestly, it's like what I'm getting, Zeneb, is like your time commitment. You know, do you want to be pushing after this person with all these obstacles? Like, if you want to, absolutely go for it. But I feel like you deserve better, is all I feel like. Thank you, Zeneb, for the donation. Hey, Lightning Spark. Yes, everything you said makes sense, Lauryn. My daughter told me they are rainbow children. Shut up, Eureka. That's literally the question that you got was rainbow. I put that out there. That's so cool how that works. They were clearly coming in and being like, we're going to talk to Eureka. Awesome. Pisces was my friend. That's why we fought. Honestly, Zeneb, like looking back at it, I feel like the whole thing is just kind of like leave it, and if it happens, it happens. But I feel like why would you want to get together with somebody who so neutrally wants to get back with you? Does that make sense? Awesome. Let's do another guessing game because I think I caught up on... No, sorry. Excuse me. Lightning Spark. You guys are showing up as like the same color for me. So Lightning Spark. How does Zeradia feel about Momo? I remember this name. I think I've read her before, haven't I? And just know, you guys, if you come in every single week, you know, I will answer your question as best as I can. But I do think, and I want to make a video on this, but I do think if you get to a point where you are asking the same questions every week and like, and again, not like throwing this all on you, Lightning Spark. This is several people that do this, and you might have only actually done this like once. But when you put out this energy of just like, I want to know the answer to this, and then you just ask another psychic and another psychic and another psychic, and then you just come back and you ask the same question, and you don't trust your own intuition, what happens is your guides start to mess with you. And I don't mean that in a malevolent way, but what they start to do is they start to give you all sorts of differing opinions so that you're confused. And you're like, okay, this psychic said this thing, this psychic said the other thing. And you're just like so lost in it all that you're forced to go to your own intuition so they can be like, hello, you can talk to us. And you need to, and then I think the other part of why they do this is they want you to start trusting your own intuition instead of trusting everyone else's. Or no, what I'm trying to say is that, like, if you keep asking the same question and then you dismiss the answer because you're looking for the answer that you want to hear, it's almost like you're saying, I don't value my intuitive ability. I don't value my guide's opinions. And so then they start to like screw with you. I hope that makes sense. That's not very nice of them. Tell them to stop that. Well, and they do it all from this place of like, we need to get your attention. We want you to be confused so that you come to us and use your own intuition. Anyway, sorry, random tangent lightning spark. I just need to turn that into a video. Because that's one thing that happens, and that's one thing that happened even when I was training at the Aspen program. People would literally come in as volunteers and they would ask the same question to all the different psychics and they wouldn't listen to anybody. And I remember like one of the most poignant moments of my learning there, this lady finally got around to me and everyone was so frustrated at her because she wasn't listening to any advice. And I remember being like, your guides are mad at you. Like, not really. Like, they'll always love you and forgive you and stuff, but they don't want to give you any information because you're not listening to them. And I remember her just like looking at me and be like, okay. And then she like looked at the next psychic that was practicing with me and then just like ate up everything that she said. And that psychic was not doing a good job and just telling her like what she wanted to hear. This is how I come up with my video ideas. Anyway, hi Zanadia. That's funny. Zanadia, we were just reading a girl named Zoraida. Zoraida. I have heard another psychic saying the same thing. Don't ask the same question more than once. You know what? I'm going to write it down because that's a good video idea. Along with all of my other video ideas that I write down. So what is it? Asking the question too many times. And that's like something that it's like duh to me. But I forget that a lot of people just don't understand that. Did I even read your question? I didn't read your question. I'm sorry, Lightning Spark. Your spark, you gave me a spark of inspiration. How do they feel about you? What do I want to pull? I'm definitely feeling more potential, though, with you here with this person. This is how they feel about you. Interesting. Okay, so I pulled how they feel about you and then what you can do about it. Like, how can you manifest it better? How this is a good place to be in. You know, they look at you as a liberator. They look at you as like a source of being like their true selves. They feel free around you. They feel it's like freeing yourself. Wait, I'm reading that wrong. Being yourself, releasing negative thoughts, patterns. Like they're the best version of themselves around you, and they really like that. And the shadow attribute of this, so these cards have light and shadow attributes, and I feel like the shadow of like you being seen as a liberator is that she doesn't take you seriously sometimes. It doesn't necessarily say that on this card. That's just like what I'm getting. She sees you as like a means to an end, not like your own person. So maybe using that information, you're like, oh, okay, maybe I'll do something a little differently when I'm in front of her. As far as like what you can do to kind of push it along, because I always like to ask those questions so that you feel like you have some control versus like, oh, yeah, this person likes you, the end. And I pulled this card in reverse. So damsel in distress. Don't be a damsel in distress. What is the negative side of being a damsel? Waiting for a knight to provide for you. Seduction by romantic illusion. And what's needed, instead, what is the light side of a damsel? A light attribute is understanding the nature of a healthy romance inspiring you to rely on yourself. So I feel like that's kind of like pretty blatantly like, come back to you. Do you really need this person? You know, are you in love with them or the idea of being in a relationship? And I feel like lightning spark, like, it's going to happen for you. Like, don't worry about it. Don't try to push it so hard. I just want to pull one other card for you. You are good enough. I feel like your guys are kind of distracting you from this person in this relationship and saying, like, look at how you're acting. Look at the energy that you're putting out. It's not the best. You know, it's coming from a place of feeling like you're not good enough. You know, why do you feel like you need this relationship or a relationship to complete you? And here's the thing. Once you kind of like face those feelings, then they're kind of out of the way. And you're like, oh my gosh, I've learned this about myself. I feel so much more secure. And something about that ends up attracting a relationship because you feel more whole. You don't feel like you need someone to fill your other half because you're half empty, if that makes sense. So I know that didn't answer your question, but I think Zeradia is definitely like open to it, but your guides were just like, this is more important. This is the more important message. And sometimes that happens. I can't really control that. Thank you, Zeneb. Will I get into law school this year? Ooh. I do feel like you're going to get into law school, period. So, like, whatever this card says, like, it's mostly just, like, a matter of time, Zeneb. Shit. A win-win outcome is forecast. Oh, my gosh. And look at that. It's literally the scales of justice. Isn't that what that's called on the moon? If that is not a more obvious sign, Zeneb. And I think I still stand by what I was originally saying. Like, even if this is like a hell yes to your question, if it doesn't happen like tomorrow, it's going to happen. So I'll just ask Zeneb what you can do to help manifest it. I'm going to use these cards. Because sometimes that puts you in the driver's seat a little bit more than being like, oh, what's happening to me? You're saying, how am I going to create change? How am I going to force this forward? And I got go the distance in reverse. So don't push it, Zeneb. So this card upright is usually about like, go hard after your goals, try to get that race, or try to win the race. But when it's in reverse, I think of it as the opposite. It's like, slow down. There's nothing more you can do about this. Like, you've done everything you can. So don't exhaust yourself anymore, because what I'm seeing will happen is that, you know, if it's like a no for this year, it's not anything to do with you. Maybe it's like capacity, or they just like put your name at the bottom of the list or something. It's going to happen. But in case it doesn't, like, you don't want to exhaust yourself to a point where like you're, you know, so demotivated by it and you don't want to come back to it. So really it's like, let it go. You've done as much as you can. Thank you, Zeneb. What is a psychic? That is a very long question. That is I have a very long answer to your question, but I think I have a video on it, Mike, and it's something, I think it's called How the Psychic Ability Works. So check that out. I've done that mostly just from confusion. Oh, I forgot what I was talking about. I heard there's a spiritual rule that you can only ask your guide the same question no more than 3 times. Or maybe that was signs, thinking pose. I feel like that's somebody just making something up. Your guides don't have like this limit of like, oh, you've passed 3 questions, we're done today. Like, that's just silly to me. Like, I don't feel like spirit has that kind of limitations. That sounds like a very like human thing. Like, and I think that's kind of how I judge. I use my intuition and I'm like, that sounds human. That sounds like an egotistical, forced thing. It's not about like, and when we were originally talking about that, it's not that you can't ask your guides questions, but at some point, if you are not listening to the answers, they're going to stop trying to answer it. Does that make sense? And that's why a lot of people go their whole life without like connecting to their intuition at all, because they're so in denial of it. Or, any hits that they get, any messages that they get, they just write off. They don't trust their intuition at all. Myra says, sounds like my girlfriend. Don't attach to the person, become who you want to attract. Eureka. I couldn't have said it. Eureka. I couldn't have said it better. I love that. I have to remember that. Don't attach to the person, become who you want to attract. I love that. Will Usman leave the Pisces? I'm hearing like, does it matter? And that's not me. That's your guides. But I'll still answer the question anyway. Ooh, I don't know. They might have a good thing going. I pulled Liberator again and Judge. And I feel like those two things balance each other out very well. Literally, one is balancing the scales of justice again. Zeneb, you have a lot of that around you. That's interesting. That symbol came up several times for you tonight. I would feel that out and see what you feel about that symbol, these scales. But I feel like they're fair to each other. They let each other have their freedom. This is reading it as of right now. So, that doesn't mean things can't change. Again, I'm feeling like your guides are like, what does it matter? Like, they're like, ask this for him. Why do you care so much? And that's the wrong question. It's the wrong deck. Like, why does it matter? And it's probably because you want to feel justified. Scales of justice. You probably are like, I want to feel treated fairly in this situation. You want to be avenged. You want revenge. Yeah. I think you get kind of where I'm going with that, isn't it? But yeah, to answer your question, I think right now, I don't think they're going to leave that person. And your guys are wanting you to turn inwards and be like, does it matter? And probably not. And if so, what is it that's like making you so caught up in it? And I think it's because you just want to feel that justice. You want to feel like life is fair again, but you're not going to get it from those people. Try to find it elsewhere. Move forward with the desire to balance the scale. Oh my God. What is with this? This card, it doesn't even have the scales. It literally says up here, desire to balance the scales of justice. Righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Hang on. What is this scales? What do these scales mean for Zeneb? This is like number 4 that is. Okay. So I know I'm spending a little bit more time on Zeneb, sorry, but this, I wanted to learn for myself. It was like, okay, clearly scales of justice coming in visually, literally, I'm hearing it. So when you see symbols like that, don't just like move forward, ask, what does this symbol mean? So that in the future, if you see it again, you can be like, oh, okay, scales of justice. This is like regarding this theme in my life. So Zeneb, for you, what this symbol is trying to talk about is when you look at the shiny objects that don't have any value or worth, and you're distracted by it. So all that glitters isn't gold is kind of like the saying, and what this card is like emulated around. All that glitters is not gold. So just because it's fancy and shiny and pretty, this relationship in your mind, that doesn't mean it's going to be that way. And so this balance, this scales that I keep seeing, I think is about you balancing this like dream that you have. That's really just, it's a bad representation of reality. It's you being distracted by all the glitter and grounding yourself, finding that balance between grounding and, what is it that I really want and what am I being distracted by? I hope that makes sense. I'm going to ask it as many times as I want. Hey guys, sorry. So how we do live reading nights, we do, if anyone donates, I get to them first, and then we jump into kind of guessing games. Because I'm a stinker. You're funny, Mara. Asia donated next. Thank you, Asia. Messages for my next serious romantic partner. So yes, you may ask a question if you donate. Otherwise, just stick around and we play guessing games once I kind of catch up on all of our donations. And if you get the guessing game right, then you get the reading. Ooh, and let me just answer Mo's question. I will answer questions about intuition and teaching because that's mostly what I do here on my channel. My intuition is hard to trust because I've been wrong or I've interpreted it wrong. I go over this a lot in my basic psychic skills course, but it's like when you get things wrong, it can really get in your head because you tell yourself, oh, I'm not psychic. Oh, I'm not getting it right. I'm not connecting. And so then you set this intention that you're not intuitive, that you're not connecting. And what happens is if you keep believing that, if you keep believing you're wrong, and if you keep focusing on the negative, then you end up essentially subconsciously sort of telling your intuition, I don't believe in you. I don't trust myself. I don't believe that the psychic ability works. And basically you just put a block on your psychic ability. And I have, I think, a single video on my channel about how to remove blocks to your psychic ability. That is on my list to add to. But basically, Mo, to answer your question, and if anyone else is feeling the same, focus on block removal techniques. And block removal techniques can be as simple as journaling, talking it out, meditating, or it could be a little bit more serious than that. There's some blocks to our psychic ability, and sometimes it can just be inner talk that we tell ourselves, and sometimes just recognizing that inner talk and letting it go is enough to get rid of that block. Anyway, sorry, Asia. So Asia, messages from my next serious romantic partner. I want to pull from the Starseed deck. Next serious romantic. I don't want to lead you down the wrong path, but it feels like somebody you might already know. Is that in this lifetime or Okay. Okay, both. I feel like it might be somebody you already know in this lifetime. Possibly. You definitely know them in this other lifetime. Ooh, I'm sorry. That's interesting. Asia, I'm sorry, defenselessness, righting past wrongs, uprooting. I think that's why I'm getting this energy like coming in. Like I sort of believe, and this is my belief, and because it's a belief, it sort of filters how I do my readings, but I believe that we all come from the same place. You know, I don't necessarily believe it's called heaven, but I just kind of term it the universe. And I believe that before we come into our life, we decide who we want to meet up with and like what situations we want to put ourselves in. Not to the point that we don't have free will, but we sort of plan out some of that. And I feel like this person, and the reason why I preface with that is because I want you guys to understand my filters so that you don't feel like it's truth. And believe in the same things I believe in, you can see it as, oh, well, she might have been seeing it through her filter, which is not the same as mine. Anyway, but the writing past wrongs is sticking out to me, Asia, and I feel like this person, this next romantic partnership, you're probably going to have some struggles with, but you guys are coming into this life with the intention of like, we didn't do so great in the past. We're going to fix it. We're going to try again. Like that's like the goal. And it's literally, it has two people on here that I feel like in a way are the same people. They're both looking at each other. And then the other message from this person, water your garden. I love how you ask this question. Sometimes asking questions in a different way can yield such different results. So this is nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. And I feel like, Asia, you know, this self-care is going to help manifest this partner. When you're in a place of taking care of yourself, nourishing yourself, it's almost like your energy changes. And when your energy is in a more positive place, you end up attracting things better. And people notice when your energy is a lot more like uplifted and happy. That's a great question. I love that. And I love the cards that I pulled, especially because like the I'm sorry like comes from, like, it sounds like it's coming from a person. To me, I think you've definitely like been together before. It was channeled to me from spirit. Don't attach the person, become you. That's awesome, Yurka. I like Zineb. Now I'm going to have Smash Mouth in my head. I forget what I say. Sometimes I forget and I keep moving on. Thanks, Zineb. Can I get a message from my deceased loved ones? Yes, Lori. I have a perfect deck to do that. I have so many bugs in here. I'm in my she shed. And I had the door open to cool off. I have all these lights to light up so you can see me, and the bugs are just like, ah! Light. Also, a service that I do offer you guys is coaching. So, like, if you don't want a reading from me, but you just, like, want one-on-one coaching, you can sign up for that on my website as well. So true about blocking ourselves unintentionally. I remember when I was learning, I asked my mentor, I was like, could the idea, or if you were worried that you were blocked, but you didn't know why, could that be a block in itself? And I remember her being like, yeah, I guess so. Absolutely. I was like, sounds like typical anxious me. So this is for Lori. Oh, cute. Lori, I always give you a goodnight kiss. I feel like this is a younger energy. And just know that sometimes when people pass, they don't always show up in the age like they pass. I find that a lot of people show up in an age that they most resonated with. I just feel like this is a younger energy. I always give you a goodnight kiss. I see all of your thoughts. That kind of sounds creepy. But I think this is confirmation. Like, Lori, I feel like what these loved ones are trying to get to. And just know, Lori, if you're new here, I actually connect with the person. But to keep these live nights quick, I just kind of pull cards. And I feel like the energy with both of these cards is basically them being like, you there's some part of you that doubts that we're still here. And so they want you to know, like, the seeing all of your thoughts, I'm interpreting that card more as like, if you're saying anything to them or if you're thinking about them, they're like, we're here. We know you're thinking about us. We know you're talking to us. You just might not be able to hear us in return. I always give you a good night kiss. And I feel like when this card comes up, that I always give you a good night kiss, it's less literal and more like I'm with you every day kind of energy. And it's like communicating in a way of like, I'm always here with you every day. Also, I'm getting for you specifically, Lori, whichever family member this is, the fact that they're coming to you at nighttime specifically, that might be a message that they're communicating to you in your dreams, or you might be the most intuitive right before bed and you might be able to pick up on them. That happens to a lot of us. Basically, that time where you're trying to fall asleep, you're trying to shut off your left brain, your practical brain, forget all the thoughts of the day, and you're entering into that receptive sleep state. And so that's when sometimes you get all these amazing downloads of ideas. Sometimes it's when you start hearing things or seeing things, which can be inconvenient if you're trying to fall asleep. But sometimes if it's like the only time of the day when you are intuitive, your guides will just take advantage of it. They're like, get the messages in. But yeah, I would pay attention to kind of that time of night, Lori, and see if you can't pick up anything of what they're trying to say. My guide made me go deaf in my right ear for a moment. Very low ringing. I had that happen too. I was distracted for a moment and then I started paying attention again to that last card and you pulled rabbit ears. Perk up. Funny. You're welcome, Mo. Oh, I'm sorry, Asia. Asia's like, and that's the thing. I will tell you what I get. Sometimes that might not always be what you want to hear, but there was one live night. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. Oh my gosh, I cracked up so hard. I can't remember who was in here, but I was like talking and I was like, should I say it, guys? Should I say it? And they were like, you say it. And I was like saying this inner dialogue out loud and you guys were just like cracking up. But I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if anyone remembered that. My guides mentioned me connecting with the divine feminine. What did they mean? Ooh, yes. What card do I want to use? Thank you, Y. I hope you are doing awesome, Y. Alright, I'm pulling my Starseed deck because I just feel like this is going to answer your question. I'm here, okay. They're like, it means several things, and they want me to pull like a crap ton of cards, but I'm just going to sum them up. Not that one. Ooh. I'm new to this deck, sorry. Hang on, I need to block this weirdo. Okay. I do not know how to pronounce this. Hiraeth, Hiraeeh. Hiraeth. Longing for home, homesick for the stars. So I feel like, as far as connecting to the divine feminine, like it's like such pink, pretty energy. I'm like hearing why don't get too caught up on like feminine versus masculine, especially like how we talk about it like now in this realm. It feels like more of a coming home. Like it feels more about being, it's whatever you identify as like coming home, longing for home, homesick for the stars. And this is not like home here. It's like home the next place. It's like what is your idea of heaven is like what I'm hearing. Where's like that next place that you go when you die? I don't know if that defines divine feminine, but there's something about like putting it in that framing that's going to help you connect with it better. Why? Homesick for the stars, longing for home. I don't feel like, because I don't feel like this is like an answer of like what is the divine feminine. It's more of like this is how you can get there. And then I pulled the Seas of Mintaka, Mintaka. This is a new deck, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about it yet, but it's about star seeds, which I'm not super familiar with. I honestly just bought it because I thought it was pretty, but I didn't realize like how like very astrally it is. I can't decide if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet, but bringing unconsciousness to light, seeing the potential. And then I pulled the blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. Okay, so integration is popping out to me. So I think, honestly, why, as far as like the divine feminine, just like spontaneous awakening, that to me is like, okay, just thinking about it and being aware of it is enough to get started. And if you're like, I don't know what this is or where it is or how to connect with it, think about home, think about this next place. Again, I want to use the words heaven. Like, what do you visualize as like your heaven? Because I feel like the contrast, you'll compare it to life here and you'll realize what you're missing. And whatever that's missing, that's this divine feminine. And I don't feel like you're totally missing it, like at all. I do feel like, I think the issue that I'm getting why is that like the word itself, divine feminine, there's connotations and like so many psychics out there that use it in a different way that I feel like if you like tried to look it up that way, you would just be more confused. Okay, what is this? What is this? But I feel like it's like a mind thing. It's the bringing unconsciousness to life is all about just being aware of it, just like an awareness. And so maybe for you, did I pull this card for you in our reading? I feel like this card is like, this is what it's not. And what it's not is like, it's like the opposite of an engineer. An engineer is very mechanical, left brain, solutions, non-emotional, whereas the opposite of an engineer is not mechanical. I feel like this is my left brain, right brain videos, like what they're talking about. It's like letting it flow, not analyzing, not planning things, letting it come to you. Emotions. I feel like this is a lot around emotions, like bringing unconsciousness to life, longing for home, integration. I feel like it's more like addressing thoughts in your mind, emotions that you have around your feminine side that maybe need to just be integrated. Honestly, why I almost feel like I just be honest, and I feel like my guides are saying like ask someone else. Like Lauryn might not have the right context is like what's coming through. Like I might not know exactly how to say it correctly. Like I think that's what's happening. I just pulled one more card because I was like, I have to give her something. Strength. Divine Feminine is strength. It's Archangel Ariel. Maybe connect with that guide. Strength and grace through kindness, self-confidence. Maybe that's what they mean. Oh, Lord, no thanks. I want someone amazing. Thank you, Asia. Thank you, I hope that helps. Thanks for the donation, Jasmine. I am so sweaty. I want to open this back up, but I'm like afraid these bugs are gonna like attack me. Oh, Lori, all that glitters is gold is a line in their song. I didn't even know that. Jasmine, will Daniel talk to me soon? Oh, I feel so much better. Okay. You know, they're telling me to use this card deck. Interesting. Are you sure, guys? Okay. So I'm using my mediumship deck, which I don't normally use for relationships, but I think because this deck acts as like words that someone else would be saying, I'm finding myself using it sometimes when we're like reading other people. And I got, as far as Daniel goes, I watch over you every day, and there's a heart in the clouds, which is why I stopped, because I was like, I don't want to give false hope, guys. And that's why I double checked. But they said, yes, go for it. That's like why we chose this deck. So as far as Jasmine, I watch over you every day. I don't think that's like literal, like he's not like stalking you. I think it's more like he's probably thinking about you every day. And then the heart I'm getting is not necessarily from him, but it's a symbol of like a good sign to move forward. Like this could be a potentially good relationship. Will he talk to you? I don't think he's going to. I think he's too nervous. I think he's too afraid of like crossing your boundaries. And I literally I was going to ask, and I pulled the card, what can you do? And it says, share your song, which to me is like, go out and speak your truth. And, you know, just, you don't have to like confess your feelings for him, but you can just go out and make the first move, speak up first, share your song. That's perfect. I feel like that's so matter of fact, Jasmine. I'm feeling good about it though. Building blocks, though, there's a lot that you guys will have to work on. It's not going to be all hunky-dory awesomeness from the get-go. I have to kick bugs out of my house every day, mostly spiders and mosquitoes. I don't get paid for it. So curious, how many tarot and oracle decks do you have? Oh my gosh, it's an addiction. It's an addiction. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 13 right now. And I have one in the mail on the way. So 14, basically. Hello, James. What's up? You're welcome. Thanks, Lori. When you said the word here, the video paused. It's because I heard my guides loud in the middle of the night once. Ooh. Isn't that funny how that happens? Thank you, Eureka. I hope so. Yeah, it's been weird. I just feel like when my son was about to come through, like he came through loud and clear, not just for myself, but for my husband. And it was like this like dramatic, like my husband and I had been together for like, 12 years, almost 13. And it was just like all of a sudden within a couple months, we were like, I think we need to do this. Like this needs to happen. Like I feel like this is it. We're ready. And I really feel like that was my son coming through. And then the fact that it only took me a month to get pregnant, I feel like his energy was like, I am ready. I'm ready to be here. And I'm starting to get those hits also for like our next kid. But I'm like, I'm not ready. Like I need another year at least. But she's coming in a lot, which is interesting. I have a feeling almost everyone in my family will be a little bit psychic just because it's like what I do. Can you see all these bugs? This is ridiculous. I'm closing this. Okay. Yeah. I have that deck and I bought it for the same reason. Which one? Was it the Starseed one or the Mediumship one? Asia. I would to buy cue cards. Yes. Gosh dang it. We're just interested in each other. No relationship. I know. I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you, Kelly. I will catch up. Okay. Starseed. Yeah. Isn't it so pretty? I feel like everyone has it right now, though. It's like every pick a card reading video is like Starseed Oracle, Starseed Oracle. All right. Asia, I want to go with this deck. They want me to use the tough deck is what I like to call it. It's my archetype deck. I'm probably going to take one more person after Kelly just to kind of wrap it up. I started a little late tonight. Interesting, Asia. Okay, so I don't want to show you this card because I don't want you to get distracted by it, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I pulled the Engineer card again, and I'm really feeling like this is like left brain. This is like, and if you haven't watched that video, Asia, I uploaded a video a few weeks ago. It's like left brain versus right brain, and it's basically just like an analogy that I use to differentiate psychic versus non-psychic thoughts. And I feel like you're really good with this side of your brain. And so am I. Like I'm such like a left brain person. Like it's a lot harder for me to turn on my psychic ability than turn it off, if that makes sense. It's literally the ability to give creative energy a practical expression. So you're really good at like turning those right brain thoughts into left brain practical plans. Talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. I'm just getting like you have a talent for doing anything analytical, mathematical, planning. I wouldn't be surprised if like you're an earth sign. And then the fact that I pulled this shapeshifter card, to me, I'm first hearing like encouragement that you can really float between both. Like you can float between this like left brain, right brain, intuitive versus non-intuitive mind. And I'm also getting that with shapeshifter. This is like how other people see you sometimes. They aren't sure who you are. It's almost like, are you a Pisces? I know I said like earth sign. It's almost like your energy is kind of like all over the place. You can change who you are so easily. And I think it's because you have really interesting energy. It's like, oh, I'm a Sagittarius. Okay, I was totally off. You have really interesting energy because it's like you can switch from one to the other so well. Like I'm asking, like, are you encouraging her to like use her intuition more? And it's like, no, she already does that really well. And the shapeshifter part is like you're able to bounce back and forth between both being left brain and right brain, both being intuitive and being planning. And it's almost like they want you to understand that this is like how you manifest things. Like you imagine, you create, you're inspired over here in this right brain, and then you are able to like turn it into legitimate action with this side. Why does she need to know that right now? It's all about confidence. So maybe you feel like maybe you can't do this with your confidence. And so it's maybe talking about like treating your confidence in that way. Can you come to it from a practical aspect? Can you come at it from an intuitive aspect? I feel like there's some things in our lives that we will just like not think to use our intuition for. Like sometimes like in work or like business, we just don't think about using our intuition because we just haven't for so long. Or sometimes when it comes to like taking care of ourselves, we are only like doing research or looking for things and not going inward. This is like, this card is like claim your personal power, stand up for what you believe in, have confidence. So maybe that's what it's about. Maybe your guides feel like you can step up and speak your truth a little bit more. And for some reason, knowing that you can manifest both sides of this really well. I think will help with all of that. I hope that makes sense. Thank you, Asia. Thanks again. Okay, Kelly says, I'm currently going back to school to further my career, but finding several paths I'd like to try. Which path will give me the most happiness? I don't know how many paths you have. Kelly, can you just like list them out? Just say like A, B, C, or A, B, C, D, or A and B for me? Because then I'll pull cards for each. Because I could just pull a card and be like, which one is it? But if there's not like anything on that specific card that might relate to it, that might be a little harder. So I want to like make the most of your question and just ask about each option, if that makes sense. And then I can sort of go from there. I could use a flying dream. It's been forever. Thanks, Silly Rabbit. Give me 1 second. Myro, get in my dreams. I kind of feel like she's like, what? Okay, Kelly, ABC. Okay, so I want to ask. Happiness was ABC. Okay. I know that this could be wrong. Ooh, okay. So the first option, Kelly, is like you might be questioning like why you're there a lot. Like you might lose track of like the overall picture, or maybe the reason for joining is not the right reason. Like maybe you want that option for the money, or something is going to be there where you're just like you're constantly having to remember like, why am I doing this? Why am I here? And that might be a struggle because that affects your motivation and like how you approach things, because if you don't know, like, if you're not happy with why you're there, then it can cause all sorts of problems. The second option is buy the book. And so I really look at this as like the most practical option. It's like you're doing what everyone else wants you to do, maybe. Going by the book is just like going by the societal norm. But it's in a good way. It's not like in a negative way. Option C, I got clean it up in reverse. So this to me says like there would be a lot of messes around this option, a lot of things that you'd have to work on. Your guys will support you no matter what you do. They'll support you no matter what you do. Just know that these are all obstacles in your way. I pulled, though, the second one, I pulled prosperity. Okay, let me start over. Bugs crawling all over these. As far as what one will make you most happy, it's almost like the first one could make you happy as long as you're constantly remembering to find why you're there. Ooh, and I asked, like, just to clarify, like, it says don't let pride get in your way with this first one. So maybe there's going to be a lot of issues of, like, speaking up, speaking your truth, or maybe saying it too much. The second one, I got prosperity lies ahead. So I'm feeling really good about that second option. Third option, take a timeout. I don't know about that third option. Feeling good about the second. Even if you wanted to go with the first, I think you'd be happy. It's just a little bit more of an active effort. And I think you can be happy no matter where you are in life. You just have to, like, sometimes in some places you have to work even harder to make it happen. I hope that makes sense. Thanks, Kelly. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up, you guys, after Silly Rabbit. But I will, if anyone is still sticking around, I will pull one card for everybody. So if you still have like one question and you're holding out hope, I'll pull one card and try to hopefully answer your question with that one card. Let's see, Silly Rabbit. Should I leave my job in September immediately or wait it out to maintain my health care? What would be the ideal time to make the 100% switch? Before I'm even pulling cards, I'm being drawn to leaving it immediately. I don't know like what the situation is, but it feels like waiting it out to maintain your healthcare. Like it's not going to be worth it. Like the something outweigh the benefits. The risks outweigh the benefits. It's like I see you, if you continue till September just for your healthcare, it's like you're going to have all these awful, horrible things like mentally around it and emotionally because you're done, you're checked out. And if you're literally just hanging on for the benefit of the healthcare, it's going to make it even harder for you to stay. And it's really like the healthcare isn't even that, like, I don't want to say it's that good because it's necessary, but I feel like it's not worth all that other stuff, if that makes sense. And I do feel like you're going to find healthcare elsewhere. You might have to like really be on top of it and immediately like switch and, change that up and like get something else. So I'm feeling like more, and I heard August as far as like when would the ideal time be. But I'm feeling like put your emotional health first, not the healthcare stuff, because the biggest thing I'm getting is like there's abundance there. You can find what you need elsewhere. Don't let it keep ruining like your mental health. Hey, Lauryn, can I have more info about monthly live videos? Is it like psychic practice? Do you mean my memberships? Because Because my monthly live videos are like what we're doing tonight. If you're talking about the memberships, so the $5 a month membership, that will be members only lives. And so that'll just be like, I kind of test the waters and see what you guys want every month. Like, do you want just more live readings like tonight where there's less people in the room where we can chat more? Do you want practice nights? Like, we come, I give you guys homework, we all practice, and I help you guys through stuff. Do you want a little bit of both, like half readings, half practice? Or do we just like want to hang out and like drink together and chat? Like, I'm going to like, whoever has that membership, I'm going to ask, and you basically will influence it. I hope that makes sense. Yes, membership. Okay. So yeah, that's like the $5 a month membership. And then the $10 a month membership is you'll get to add on a new or a pre-recorded video. So not only will you get access to those live videos every month, $10 a month will also get you access to whatever pre-recorded video I do. And that's also based on what you guys want to see. Is it a pick a card reading for you guys? Is it a informational reading? Like if everyone just happens to be really interested in the Akashic Records and you want that video because I don't have it up yet, I'll do a really informal video for you guys that is for my members only. And then again, every tier above that, you get every tier below, you get all those same perks. It's just like adding on more. So the further the tiers go up, the more like readings that you get from me every month. Oh my gosh, hi Gohan. Thank you. I hope you've been doing good. Happy belated Father's Day. Thank you. I'll have to tell my husband. Is it possible to blend A and B? Pull a card for you really quick. I'm hearing like yes, but not in the way that you're thinking. So like let go of however you're like imagining that they would be blended together, because that won't quite work. But it's not that they couldn't. And it might be, I'm not even going to pull a card because I'm just getting this all intuitively. It might be that you have to start with one, Kelly, and then kind of go to the other one maybe for a bit and then kind of blend them together. Yeah. Yes to all of those options. Oh, yes, thank you. Yes, silly rabbit. Beers with Lauryn. Yes, this is like a third of the way drank, and it's almost warm. Oh, I see what Lori is saying. Yes to all those options. Beers and psychic practice would be amazing. Yeah, I saw one chick. She kind of has like a witchy channel, and she teaches like a lot of witchy stuff. And her lives are purely just like hang out. Like she has a glass of wine and she hangs out with people every single week. And I'm like, oh, that sounds like a bad habit. I don't want to get there. But yeah, it's like I'm going to basically do it based on how you guys want. So, you know, the 99 cents tier like that Lori has is just the emojis and badges, which there's nothing, I shouldn't say just those because those are awesome and it helps me like see you guys a little bit better, especially once I get more followers and these like live readings just get nuts. Next tier above that is members only lives. Next tier above that is member only videos. And then you get readings. Delay was because I got an appointment. Gotcha, silly rabbit. Wait, what's her name? Oh, I don't know, Johan. I don't follow her. I just kind of like stumbled on one of her videos because I was looking for something. I can't remember, but she's like blonde and she like talks about witchy stuff. I should know that. She's blonde. I feel like she's not American though. I want to say she's Canadian. I could be wrong. Gotcha. Okay, so one question for everyone that's still in here to sort of wrap up the night. So what you can do is sort of imagine sending your question either to me, to the universe. So think about your question, send it out, release it. I'll give you guys a minute. How many people are in the $5 tier? No one as of now, Eureka, but because nobody knows about it. Like, it literally just got published like days ago. So it could just be you and me. That's strange. Oh, did you, Lori? I'm sorry. Sorry, Lori. I'm just assuming that you were in that lower tier. So apparently I don't get notifications if you upgrade. We'll go back to talking about this. Okay, so yeah, send me your questions. Whatever it was that you felt like didn't get answered tonight. I'm feeling like the Starseed Oracle again. Release the question. Assume that the universe has heard you. I'm hearing loud and clear that if I don't answer it through this card tonight, or these cards, your question is going to come soon. Just keep paying attention. Pay attention to the signs. Ooh. I love when I'm using a new deck and I'm pulling new cards. Ooh, I'm getting like Greek energy big time. Olympus. Ooh, like sanctuary in the heavens. Ooh, I love this. This is like, I don't know what your guys' questions are, but one of the answers is to find your psychic like haven. And this is a video that I still haven't done yet. It's in the pipeline, but this is like about creating a place in your mind that you go to whenever you're doing psychic work. So whenever you're about to do a reading, whenever you want to connect with your guides, and you make this place in your mind that's kind of like your sanctuary. And this is where you meet your guides. This is where you hang out with them, talk to them. And I'm feeling like for some of you guys, and it might not look exactly like this, but I think that's for me, like my visual, like Greek pantheon in the skies with waterfalls and flowers. Like that's totally like my kind of vibe. But find what that is to you. That's going to help you connect with your intuition more. And what is this card about? This says, oh, this is like Atlantis. It might be Atlantis for some of you guys, like under the water. Lost land. Wow, this is like very specific, but I don't, again, like how you can get the answers to these questions is by going to these places, going to these psychic places in your mind, because you're going to find the answers here, but you're also going to find that these places you have been to before. Soul memories and gifts. Like I'm not even reading this. I'm just like saying things, and then I finally read the card. You've done this before. So as far as whatever your question is, the answer is in this place. It's create this sanctuary in your mind. I hope that makes sense. And I know I haven't like done a video on that, but I think you guys can get the picture. Like sit down, listen to some meditative music that really resonates with you. And maybe every single time you go to this place, listen to that same music. And really just like spend some time in there. Maybe your psychic like sanctuary is like on a beach. But what you can do is you can just meditate, walk around, notice the things that are around you in this like place. Sometimes I think before I had a lighthouse, and that was like my psychic place. And then every single time I went in there, I would discover something new. Like I discovered a bench somewhere. And then I discovered there were stairs that went like down to the ocean where I would talk to the mermaids and the orcas or something. But really, it's like a huge message coming through of like, if you don't have this place in your mind, create it, because you are going to get so many intuitive hits here. Now, I feel like this card is definitely more pertaining to your question. It's time to step up. That's the energy that I'm getting. They're drawing me back towards the group reading that I did at the beginning of like, you've been sitting, you've been waiting, you've been planning, enough planning, start doing. Walk through the door. Called. You're being called. You're being called to do something, to take action. Soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. And I think what it is that they want you to take action in this life. all those goals, whatever you've been like putting off, like definitely start working towards it. But understand that what's going to help you the most is this soul gifts, this training, which you're going to get information on, and like how to move through all these obstacles and like how to make your best path is going to be by connecting to your intuition, specifically in your sanctuary with your guides. It's your place. Like, it's less about like making the perfect sanctuary in your mind and more about just understanding what communicating with your guides looks like. Some of you guys have a spider spirit. If any of you guys resonate with that. So Eureka, I don't know, maybe Lori did upgrade, so maybe she's in there. I don't know how many are in there. Apparently it doesn't notify me. There's just this massive spider crawling on my wall, and I'm just like, oh God, I can't concentrate. I don't mind snakes. I freaking love snakes, but spiders, all the legs, I'm just, I can't do it. So yeah, Lori, ignore me. If you upgraded, apparently it just doesn't tell me. So Y threw her question up in the comments. So like, why, just to give some context, you could totally meet your great aunt in this place. Why? You can find her memories and gifts. You can totally meet her in the sanctuary. And you know what? Why? That's so funny, because I did a personal reading for Y, and we talked about this in her reading, which I think is crazy. Crazy confirmation. I don't remember everything about everyone's readings, but sometimes I really do. No problem. I found it this afternoon. Well, you found it before I even announced it. Thank you for upgrading, though, Lori. That's so awesome. I'm so excited about these memberships, and I know that you'll have to work with me while I figure out the kinks and stuff, but we'll turn it into something really awesome for everyone. Friends or foe moving forward? Ooh, I just want to look at that again. This spider is just all up in my business, bro. He's moved from there over here. And maybe I need to look up what spider spirit means, because I had one stuck on my sock today. I about had a heart attack. And I do have a book of animal spirit guides, and I've done a video review on that before. If you guys ever want to check out that video. So sorry, just to like give context, your great aunt, Y, she's definitely calling you to that place. And then Johan asked about the friends or foe moving forward. And I think specifically for you, like interpreting this card, and I'm more just like teaching you guys right now, if you're like, I don't know how these apply to me. So the soul memories and gifts, I would interpret that as like, maybe you guys have had a relationship before. So going into this intuitive place and asking questions about this relationship, you've done this before with this person. You might be able to pick up information on how to like mend this relationship or move forward, but you're being called to address it. It's time to step up. So I'm taking that as like, put all the pettiness aside and try to mend it, maybe. Does anyone know the risk of getting knotted up with they drunk with beer? Because what? I have no idea. Hi, Pris. I did cut my hair like last week or 2 weeks ago. I got so hot and I was so done. I was like, cut it off. Let's see. I'm scared of spiders. These past 3 days I've been seeing spiders feeding off beetles and moss. Maybe we all need to look up what a spider spirit guide means. The fact that it's coming up now and we're all like pointing it out, maybe that guide is coming through with an additional message for us. So maybe when you guys are done here, Google spider and what it might mean for you. The spider might be me. That's crazy. Why? We love spiders. Thank you, Myra. You're a good little friend / psychic. Yeah, I never try to kill the spiders. I let them like do their thing, but when they're on my sock, I will kick them. Hey, Rashu! Spiders are so beautiful. They are up close, for sure. Silly rabbit, I thought, when will I acquire all my manifestations? I would be more drawn to the it's time to step up, so maybe there's something more you could be doing to manifest those, and if you aren't sure, go to the lost land. Oh, thank you, Yurika. Spiders represent spiritual and financial prosperities. Ooh, I'll take it. Oops, I meant knocked up pregnant. So what was your question? Anyone know the risk of getting knocked up when they drink a beer? I don't think I'm the person to answer that for you, Myro. Spider represents being process oriented, not result oriented. Ooh, I like that. I wonder if, like, thinking about our group reading towards the beginning, like making plans and acting on them, if that's like similar energy. It resonates. Woohoo! Awesome, you guys. Okay, it was so much fun hanging out with you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I love seeing you all. Sometimes this is the best part of my day, honestly. Sometimes I'll have a really rough day, but I'm like, today's Tuesday. I get to hang out with everyone. I'm so excited. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for your donations, for supporting me. Even if you can't like buy into my memberships or send donations, like I don't want you to feel left out or that you're not important to me, because you guys watching my videos, you guys commenting, you guys liking, even sharing my videos, pinning them to Pinterest, all of that really helps my channel. It tells YouTube that like this video is important, that people will like it, that people want to engage in it. And so there's a lot of things you could do to help support me, even if it's not financially. But yeah, thank you guys. Let me see. Is there anything I forgot to mention? I will be live every Tuesday, but now I'm reserving sort of the last Tuesday of the month to members only lives. So if you want to be a part of that, it's that second or third membership level, second membership level on the $5 a month. Let's see. I'm also on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I have all of my links in the description down below. I have so many links. So I finally just set up a link tree. Oh, Damien, I'm sorry you're having a bad day. Ow. Thank you, Yurika. Thank you, why? So happy and blessed to catch the end. Heart base. Did I block this person or not? Load. What was I saying? That's another thing that I got a lot with Mercury Retrograde. Lots of trolls. Testing my boundaries. Let's see. Yeah. And so feel free to reach out to me anytime for a reading. If you guys didn't know, I do have like my lowest budget like reading. What was that? My light just like turned on. Anyway, my lowest price point reading, because I try to make sure that everyone has like an option for reaching out to me. Honestly, live nights are the cheapest nights to connect with me. But if you ever want a longer reading, I do 15-minute readings where I record myself answering your questions, and I send you the recording. And you can set those up on my website. And that's kind of my lowest level option, 15 minutes. I also do 30 minutes, 1 hour, an hour and a half. Woohoo! Thank you, Lori. I think will next Tuesday be our first members only live? Will it? Is that the last Tuesday of the month? I'm going to put a post up for those of you that are members Yeah, it will be. Detailing all of this. I just haven't gotten into it yet because I didn't think anyone was a member. At least not the new members that I put up, memberships. It's gone. Be gone. See, what is it with Mercury retrograde, guys? Like, what? It's not even Mercury retrograde. It's people. And one of the things that I love about Denise Duffield Thomas, if you ever, I cast you down. These people just crack me up. The thing is they're probably just like, anyway. But one of the things that I love about Denise Duffield Thomas is she said that when you are stepping up your success, when you're getting more recognition for the things that you do, and usually she means like career or money, or maybe this was in the Big Magic book. I might be getting my books mixed up. But they said that what will happen, no, it's Denise. Yeah, what will happen is you'll get more trolls. You'll get more people giving you bad reviews. You'll get more people sending you hateful comments. And the thing is a lot of people get those and then they shut down and they just don't move forward and they never like progress because they're so terrified of all those negative comments and the trolls. And you really have to like develop a thick skin and let it kind of like roll off your back. Otherwise, if you can't handle that, you're never going to be able to push forward and up in your success. And I think that applies for a lot of us. It's not just like a YouTuber or somebody who has like a lot of attention. It's just the more success you have, the more you just tend to attract people who see you. And just that's also just a marketing thing. It's like the more you put yourself out there, the more people are going to see you, the more trolls you'll get. New level, new devil. Yes. And so that's like something I always have to like breathe through because I get nasty comments all the time and I just delete them because I don't want that energy on my space. But I remember some of the people that I was training with, they also really like doing live stuff and they would get on with me with Periscope or like some other like live thing. Or I've even had some friends who've started YouTube channels, like not even like in the psychic realm, and they get a negative comment and then they shut down. You can't block me. What is that picture of? I don't think you realize, Adam, that is actually a symbol of a good spirit. that symbol, I think that's an Asian god that actually represents like duality, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. But yeah. Point being, it's a sign that you're leveling up. And so, like, when I had that person hack my Instagram account, like, even today, I was legitimately, like, flattered. I'm like, somebody thinks I'm good enough that they want to copy me. It's a form of flattery. And really, you have to, like, put your mindset in that so that it rolls off your back more. You can't be affected by, like, all of that. And that's been one of the hardest. Am I right, Yurika? Because I felt like I saw those in front of a lot of shrines. Oh my gosh, what? You got hacked? Yeah, I've been hacked several. They're not hacked. If I said that, I said that wrong. Somebody copied me. So they download all my content and then they make a fake profile that looks like me and upload all the same content. And then they go follow all my followers so that it looks like me. And then they go and they message those people and then they say, hey, you want a reading? Will you pay me $70? And literally my husband messed with this guy. I'm just assuming it's a guy. It might have been a girl, but I highly doubt it. No, actually, I know it's a guy. But my husband was like, oh, I would love a reading from you. And he was just trying to like figure out who this guy was. And the guy wanted to charge $70 for a text. Posing as me, which the words they were using was hilarious. You guys have to follow me on Instagram. The spider's on my desk. You get out of here. Oh my gosh. You get down there. I will let you live, but you need to mind my space, sir. Get a cup. I don't have one. Oh, where'd it go? Now I need to put my feet up. What was I saying? I'm gonna be so paranoid. I definitely have to look up spider spirit now. Oh, my husband. So yeah, my husband like went back and forth with this person trying to waste their time, and they were like trying to like pretend like they were psychic. And it's so funny because if you know me, I don't talk that way at all. So if you go to my Instagram, I uploaded it in my stories because I was so like genuinely just like amused by this person trying to be me. I'm so jumpy now. Lauryn, just telepathically tell the spider to stay away. That's what I did finally. I was like, you need to respect my space, bro. You just came out of nowhere too. I really don't mind spiders. It's more that I'm like not paying attention. It's a Japanese god. They are combination paid and not paid, Tara Lynn. But I'm wrapping up for the night. I'm just honestly hanging out and just chatting with you guys, and I keep trying to like wrap up, but I'm distracted by telling stories. But yeah, if you subscribe, I will be live next Tuesday if you want to get a reading from me. If frequent deja vu is associated with being psychic. Shelly, yes, I think it is. I have been taught that it is, but I haven't found like any supporting evidence of it. So I have been purposely trying to pay attention to deja vu a lot over the last couple of years so I can kind of like form my own opinions. Lately, I've been feeling like deja vu is sometimes us remembering a dream. I think it's also sometimes something in the future that's going to happen, which is funny because deja vu, we think, oh, maybe it's something that already happened to me. But I've had moments where I'm like, I know I had this deja vu moment, but it hadn't happened before. It's happening right now, if that makes sense. So Shelly, stick around. I am probably going to release a video on it once I have more concrete ideas. I really like to spend time with like formulating my scripts before I film so that my videos aren't just like all over the place rambling. I like to be very quick and succinct with my information. If you guys watch some of my earlier videos, you can see how like I didn't plan my videos and I'm just like, I don't know. And I'm just like making crap up as I go, and it's hard to follow. And that's how I feel about like my Claire's videos, and I am going to redo those eventually. I feel like the live chat is the best way to connect with other intuitives for me. Absolutely. And if you guys want to join I know not everyone is a fan of Facebook, but I do have like a Facebook group where some of us are kind of in there and we practice, and it's just more ways to meet other people. I amuse you guys. They act like they in your head spiders free. Deja vu like once a week or very often. Yep, that definitely happens. I do think it's definitely psychic. I can't like exactly say what it is. Because I also know the science behind it a little bit, and I know that it's like your neural pathways are not connecting at the same time, and it's like you're getting one message and then you're getting the same message over. Don't quote me on this. I just know that it's like normally when you get a message, there's like, okay, that was my hair. But you get. Oh my God, I need to get off before I embarrass myself. I've already embarrassed myself. What was I going to say? Something with he's over there now. Okay, I'm good. The deja vu is like, normally when your brain gets a message, it's like you get it's not two messages, but it's something about like two connectors connecting at once. But something with deja vu, they know it's like, it comes in one way and then the second way is like delayed. So it's actually that you're experiencing that neural connection like slower or something. So like I want to take that into account because I am very like science cognizant, and even though I'm psychic and I do a lot of this stuff, like I know a lot of psychics that are kind of went off the deep end, and I want to make sure that I am, I don't know, grounded. I'm a very grounded, practical psychic is how I've been describing myself to people lately. What's the Facebook name? It's in the link in my link tree. It's called the Intuitive Network for Psychic Development. Fun fact, before I kind of put myself out here as Psychic Lauryn, I was afraid to call myself psychic. So my page name used to be the Intuitive Network. And then I changed it to Lauryn's Intuitive Services, which that's sexy, isn't it? And then finally I was like, why am I jumping around the subject? I'll just call myself what I call myself. I thought it jumped on me too. No, it's my hair. I'm losing my voice. Absolutely, Shelly. I'll pay more attention to it. Thanks for letting me know. A lot of your guys' questions is like where I come up with videos, because I've been doing this for so long, I forget what it's like to be in that beginner state and have those questions. And I totally had all those same questions myself. Some of them I haven't answered yet, but I will definitely pay attention to it more. I think the fact of knowing the science behind it has prevented me from like understanding the intuitive side of it. Anyway, where was I at? I was trying to wrap up. I was saying that I'm live every Tuesday. I'm saying follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. Don't follow the wrong people on Instagram who will charge you fake money. Did I finish telling that story? I think I did. Yeah, that person, my husband basically messed with that person, pretended like he was going to get a reading, and got that guy's email. And that's how we figured out like who it was. But it sucked because my husband was able to see that this person had several accounts. And he was basically just copying all sorts of psychics online. And he did the same thing. And then when one account would get blocked, he'd just try another. I feel like the amount of time that would take, like, just get a job. I feel like you'd make the same amount of money, but I don't know. But yeah, I have readings on my website if you guys want to reach out to me for a longer reading. I also have video courses up. A lot of it is just kind of like me condensing all of the knowledge of my YouTube channel and adding a lot more onto my courses, and that is all, on my website. Memberships are up, and those are 5 tiers. 2 of them you probably won't see right now because they're pending approval. First one is 99 cents, and that's for some fun emojis and badges, and it helps me see you guys, especially like when we get crazy amounts of people in here. Next level, $5 a month. That gives you members only live videos, which next Tuesday will be a members only live video. And then $10 a month will get you members only. So those are like pre-recorded videos where I kind of answer whatever it is you guys want to answer, whether that's a reading or like like a question, like about deja vu. Maybe if enough people wanted to know about deja vu, maybe that would be that month's video. And then above that, the 4th and 5th tiers are basically adding on readings for you every month. I'm getting jumpy. But yeah, those are my memberships. Okay, yes, that's grounding. That would be great. Thanks. I've been dealing. Oh, wait, I already read that. I like all those names. How did you figure out you're psychic? Oh, Shelly, I think my video, I have a video on my channel about how I became psychic. But I don't know which one. I have so many videos now, I can't remember them all. But I know it's in the Start Here playlist. Get away. I don't care if you're in here, but not on my laptop. But basically, long story short, Shelly, I was not into psychic abilities at all. I was not born with it. Everyone is technically born with it, but not in the way that some people like say that they are. They're like, I was born psychic, as if it was like a gift that no one else can have access to. Everyone is psychic. But I just deliberately chose to practice, and that was after I had a family dog die. My dog died, and it was like sudden, and I was just so distraught. And I went to a psychic fair, which I didn't even know was a thing, and it literally just happened to be that next weekend, which is crazy to me because that psychic fair literally only happens once a year here. I walked in, I sat down at an animal communicators table. Her name is Lizanne. I actually interviewed her. She's on one of the videos on my channel here. And she just blew my mind. She not only connected to my dog, she connected to my past pets. She told me about things about myself. I'm not making this long story short. It's making it long. But basically, she blew my mind. I was like, how can I learn how to do this? And I didn't have any resources. I just was like, I'm going to go to a metaphysical store. And it was just like one thing after another. And I found a flyer for a program, and I learned how to do everything through the Aspen program for psychic development, which is no longer functioning, but basically everything I teach is from those courses. It's the foundation of my knowledge. That's basically how I learned everything. And so I do teach from their workbook and their 90-day cards, their 90-day psychic cards. And what else was I going to make a point about? Oh, and I was a coach there. So I was not only a student for it took me a whole year to get 3 certifications. And it wasn't just like a class. It was like several classes. It was a curriculum. I had to spend a lot of money to take the courses, and don't take that as like the more money you spend, the more psychic you are. I just put a lot of time and effort into it, and I got these certifications. And yeah, the story keeps going on, but I basically kept getting more certifications because I'm a Virgo rising. I'm not a Virgo. What did I tell you? Yeah. How was it leading up to knowing that you are? So yeah, leading up to knowing that I didn't. I made the active decision to just start doing it. Obviously, looking back, though, I realized I did have experiences, but I just wrote them off as like, oh, that's just in your head. Oh, it was just a dream, because, that's what your parents tell you. Ghosts aren't real, stuff like that to make you feel better. But unknowingly, what that does is it kind of puts a block in your mind of, oh, the psychic ability isn't real. I second Shelly's question. I'm also curious. But yeah, I know that I have a whole blog post on it. Like, I go pretty in detail about it. And then I'm pretty sure I talked about it in one of my videos. I want to say it's the video that's called Why I Call Myself Psychic. Maybe not, though. It's definitely in my channel trailer briefly, but I might have described it more just now than I did there. Workbook. Yeah, so Johan, I released a video a couple weeks ago. And I called it like the only 2 things you need to develop your psychic abilities. And it's basically an overview of those cards and that workbook. Is that still available? Yes, because the woman that taught the Aspen program for psychic development, Karen Fox, she's amazing. Like, I still keep in touch with her. Like, I get readings from her. She has given me permission to use her content, on my channel. She's like, just give me credit, give me credit where credit's due. And that's why I always push people to her book and stuff, is because I still want her to benefit off of all the stuff that she teaches. But basically, she taught for so many years that course, and I coached there. And then her parents got ill, and so she moved home to take care of them. And she just kind of moved on in life and just decided to stop teaching, which absolutely makes sense to me. Like, it just wasn't for her anymore. She still does readings and stuff, but she made a workbook and a 90-day card course that basically we had to use as students, but in a lot of ways it wraps up a lot of the foundations of what I teach in those. It's not everything. It's very brief. It's like an introduction, but that workbook is awesome. So if you're interested and you're not sure if you want to buy, go watch that video, because I kind of flip through them and I show you guys what they look like. For me, I realized I was an intuitive when I started working as a therapist. Ooh, cool. And I kept getting the feedback back that I helped people with my presence, listening, and empathy. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, that's definitely a way that it can show up. Absolutely. I also have crazy good memory. Then I realized it was intuition, not just memory. Absolutely, because those are two totally separate things when you think about it. Memory is like cataloging information, being able to recall it, being able to memorize information. It's very left brain. It's very opposite. Intuition is receiving. It's not remembering anything. It's not any of your past experiences or ego. It's letting information come in and come back out. How is the shadow work for you as a Virgo rising? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm working on it. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I only am just learning about astrology. I'm very new to it. And I probably only have understood the whole sun, moon, rising for about 2 months or so. I don't know about shadow work because I'm still trying to understand the idea of shadow work also. I'm trying to think of how else I would answer that question. As a Virgo rising, what's the most interesting about the Virgo rising thing is my husband is a Virgo moon and sun. And so I'm a Pisces sun. And so I thought when I was around my husband, I'm like, I just identify so much as a Virgo. And I was like, oh, well, he just rubbed off on me. And then when I figured out that I was a Virgo rising, I was like, oh, this makes so much more sense. I've always been this way. I've been this way since before my husband. What am I thinking? So if anything, I don't know. I'm learning about it, Johanna. I guess that's my answer. How do we figure out if a person is actually psychic? Shelly, you're just asking me to promote all my videos, aren't you? Shelly, check out the video, how to tell if a psychic is good or bad. I give you all the red flags to watch out for. I would be like, how the hell did I know how to do that or say that? Where does that wisdom come from? Absolutely. That's how it is a lot with intuition. It's I'll give people advice that I'm like, I would never have even thought of that. And that's exactly how you know it's intuitive. It's not coming from you. And I discussed that in my video, how do you know if it's psychic or your thoughts? And that's one of the reasons is it's not something that you would have thought about before. Not playing guessing games anymore. Happiness. We wrapped up readings, and I'm very, very slowly closing out and just answering random psychic questions. I love when you guys do this because it gives me so many ideas for videos. Yes, absolutely, Johan. I think I understand it, but I think I don't it's it hasn't clicked with me. Sometimes you just need to be like, oh, that's what shadow work is. Oh, duh, and I think I know what it is, but I feel like I'm still off. I was like, where's Eureka? She knows. Shadow work is represented in Chiron and Saturn more than the rising sun, though. Oh, interesting. And she's talking astrology. My mama is a Libra sun and I have a Libra rising. Again, I'm learning, so I know maybe a few signs, and I know the signs of the people around me. Virgo risings are known to be ageless beauties. They look younger than your ears. I don't know. Do I look younger than 29? Hey, Roberto. You guys are all jumping in right as I'm about to hop off. It comes from up there. That's confusing. Awesome. Okay, so last thing I was going to say is the next video. I totally was wrong last week, you guys. I was like, oh, the next video is going to be my haunted house videos. And then I sat down to edit and I was like, oh, shoot, no, it's not. And so last week's video was, what was last week's video? It was the exercise. It was the exercise of, the automatic drawing exercise video. So that was last week's video. So sorry. This week is going to be the haunted house video. So keep an eye out for that. If you're not subscribed already, I'm going to be walking in a haunted house and helping out one of my clients get rid of the spirits in her home. And it's fun because you get to watch me do that, but I'm also sort of teaching you guys along the way. If you ever feel like you have negative spirits in your home, how to get rid of them. Oh, yeah, that's definitely confusing, Mara. Knowing, God damn it, that spider, he just like came on his thread upside down, just like crawling like this. But yeah, definitely understanding the difference between your thoughts and what's psychic. I had a very hard time with that. That was like one of the things that I struggled with the most. But trust me, like you'll understand, it gets better with time. But definitely check out that video if you haven't seen it yet. There might be happiness. There's not always a rule, but could be. Woohoo, so excited for that video. I know, and I'm sorry, because I told you guys it was coming last week, and then you guys probably were like, what? This isn't that. And I have to do it in a certain order, or else it'll get all out of whack, and then I won't have footage. Basically, I have to like film them ahead of time, and if I don't do it the right way, then I'll get backed up on one, and I'll have to like film a different way, and then it gets all like backed up and weird. Any paranormal hunts? Yeah, that's what this weekend is going to be. I've always wanted to do like a paranormal style video, but in my way. And in my way, it's like I teach you as I'm doing it, and I'm showing you that it's not a big deal. Like, yeah, there's a spirit in this home, but we can get rid of it. And like, I want the videos to be like, hey, I'm teaching the client, I'm teaching the homeowner how to deal with this. I'm teaching you at home how to deal with this. That's how I feel like videos or paranormal TV shows should be made. And they're often not, because they're made by filmmakers, and I was a filmmaker first. I am a filmmaker. So I understand that world a lot. And when you don't understand the psychic ability, you just look at the outside factors of like, what's drama, what will scare people, what do they want. And there was one woman who basically made a TV show that was very similar to this. And she did the same thing. She walked into somebody's home. She empowered them to take control of their space. She taught them about the psychic ability. And I wish I could remember her name, but it was made in like the early 2000s, and it was so low budget that I don't think anyone picked it up. It was very, very crappily filmed, like awful. Like I think it was just like her and a guy, like the audio was bad, but like the principle, the idea was there. It just like, it didn't take. But my hope is that one day that'll happen. Like it would be really cool if I could have like a show over here where somebody actually like respected how I do things. And I've always thought, well, maybe I'll pay my production company to do that. But I actually, side note, was interviewed to be part of 2 paranormal TV shows, and I turned both of them down. And I did make a video on that if you're curious. But yeah, I have very high standards when it comes to this stuff. Your energy is exciting. I'm in a good mood tonight. Do you think it's a bad move to buy a house that had a major crime in it? No. And I think I should have talked about that in the video this week, because the house clearing that I'm doing is like for spirits, but like getting rid of spirits. But you can also do house clearings when you move into a new home. You might have that residual energy there, but I think if you're constantly thinking about it, then yeah, you're going to attract those spirits, and you're going to keep bringing that energy in. Watch the video that I made on how spirits attach to people and places, because that's the thing, is sometimes you can think about spirits and manifest them just by thinking about them. And so that's why when some people say this place is haunted, it might not actually be haunted, but if enough people believe it's haunted, everyone picks up that energy when they walk in, and they feel like it's haunted. And I've been to places like that before, like the Stanley Hotel here in Colorado. They tout it as being haunted, but really it's not. Like the one guy made the movie in that. He didn't even make the movie. It was that he was staying there and he had the idea for the movie. But they like take full credit for it, and they have the movie playing. What is that movie? Red Rum. They have it playing on a loop on all their TVs, and they like claim that there's ghosts there. And I went in there as a psychic, and I was like, I don't feel anything in here. Like I feel negative energy, but it feels like group intention is what I call it. And if I don't want to get into that whole bag of worms. So if you're interested in that, watch that video. Not to make you more busy, but that would be a fun series to watch. Absolutely. And I mean, the more and more I can transition to doing YouTube and doing these videos for you guys, the more free time I'll be able to have to create stuff like that. And that's exactly like what I want to be able to do. You know, if you have enough followers on YouTube, you can be making some serious money. And I don't say that in like a bragging way, but I say that in like a think about how I could reinvest that into filmmakers to follow me around, to do things, you know, to make my videos a lot better, to film me actually like on site doing something versus just like in my house. Chiron, sorry. I knew that. I did know that. I just didn't know. I thought it was spelled that way. Apparently I draw spirits. I was told I'm a medium, but I'm blocking it. I was also told I have many spirits around me at all times. That's definitely like a thing for sure. Netflix. The Shining. Thank you, Lori. Lori should know. She's here too. Have you been there, Lori? I don't feel like there's any energy in there. Like there's energy, but it's not like I can't pick out a specific face or like a ghost or like a person. It just feels like this group. It just feels like this kind of dense gray energy, low vibe. It just feels like this dense, low vibe. That doesn't mean it's a spirit. I think when enough people believe that a place is haunted, they put the intention that this is the energy. This energy is low energy, it's low vibe. And if enough people believe that about the space takes on that energy because space energy is neutral. And so if you tell it something, it's going to take that energy on. It's kind of like that whole water experiment. You know, like when people put names on the water, like happiness or like sadness or something, and then they froze the water. There's my friend. You see him? You see my friend up there? Look at him. He's just showing off. I actually think he's kind of funny. He's like on a eating spree. He's really happy that I'm bringing all these bugs in. But yes. Any advice on how to draw in true love? That'll be a psychic question because I don't have. That's not intuitive coaching advice. Hey guys, if you're just now joining me, my readings are over. I'm having a very hard time just signing off, but every Tuesday night I do live readings, so you can reach out to me then, you can jump on then, so feel free to subscribe. If you are too impatient, feel free to book a reading with me on my website. What kind of readings do I do? I'm a psychic, I'm a medium, I'm an animal communicator, also medical intuitive, have a little bit of shamanic practitioner work up my sleeve. What else do I do? Technically second degree Reiki, but I don't quite advertise that because I don't quite resonate with it. Is that all I do? I think that's all I do. But mostly I'm a coach. And so that's what I'm doing right now is I'm answering all your guys' coaching questions. But yeah. I have been in it briefly. It's very atmospheric, but it's so old, so it holds a lot of energy. Absolutely. I just saw something fly across your room, Lauren. It's probably all the bajillions of bugs in here. If you guys saw this window where I have my ring light set up, there's just like bugs on the outside of the window. They're just like, oh my gosh, what is that light? Awesome, you guys. I think I am going to sign off. Thank you so much for spending time with me tonight. I will see members next Tuesday for the members only live. But I will be back the following Tuesday for more videos. I think I have a haunted house video for you guys coming up this Friday, so keep an eye out for that, Charlotte Webb. But yeah, I'm going to hop off. I need to go to bed. Bye. Have a lovely night. See you guys. And I'm going to try not to get eaten by the bugs.